Oh, so we're back. So apparently we got kicked off for a copyright violation, which happens. It's like how it's like why we can't show video on the live streams, but it's weird. What was it? Literally because we are showing photos of the new uniforms? Was that it? Man, strange times. But yeah, we're back live stream. Thank you guys. Hopefully everyone's gonna migrate over. So there you go, and then we're gonna hop into some Q&A here. First up, Eric Normal. I grew up in the Bay Area in California, and when I was a young pup, my dad took me to Oakland Raiders and A's games. So I grew up as fans of those teams. My question to you: when you were a youth, did you cheer for any other teams? Let's see. Well, Vikings fans from when I was a kid. I mean, the Twins were good when I was young, so that really got me hooked. Won at 87 and 91. Don't really remember 87. I do remember 91. I do remember the Kirby Puckett home run. Well, see you tomorrow night, Jack Buck. I mean, Jack Buck. If you had just told your son to go into like I don't know architecture, just been great. But also Game 7, like Blackjack Morris, the full-on mercenary, just coming in. Go 9 innings, no big deal. See what else here. Oh, Kent Herbeck pulling Ron Gant off the bag. Astute. Ron Gant just overran the bag. What can you do? They cheer up any other teams. Well, I actually cheer for the Bulls. I cheer for the Bulls when they were in their championship run before the Wolves actually got Kevin Garnett. I do remember going to a Wolves game when the Bulls were in town, which is great. I cheered for the Orlando Magic. I love the Magic when Shaq and Penny were both there. It was great. If you're just joining us now with the live stream, so we got booted off the last one because some sort of like copyright thing, which is why we can't show video on the live streams. But maybe it's because we were showing the new uniforms. I don't know. It was weird. I don't. Maybe we got reported for hate speech yet again. I'm just looking for the email. It's like, yeah, your YouTube is canceled. You're done. You're out of here. Probably not happen though. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So for everyone asking, that's what happened. So there you go. See other teams. That's really about it. I guess I actually cheered for both Duke and North Carolina basketball. I did. Where Carolina. Back when they had Vince Carter and Ed Cota, good old number 5 run the point, Maktar Njai down in the low post, Antoine Jameson, Emeka Okafor, Shaman Williams, Shaman something was the 2 guard, and then with Duke it was Elton Brand and Shane Battier and Jason Williams and Corey Maggette and Chris Carrawell. And it was before Wojciechowski. It was before Greg Paulus, like those punk ass bitches. It was before the Plumlee brothers too. I mean, back when Duke was good. Corey Maggette we mentioned. Oh, Chris Duhon. Chris Duhon was a man. It was good times. Mr. Popo. So Troy Dye is from Norco, just like Toby Gerhart. That's a good sign. Oh man. And Toby Gerhart, college sports reference. Toby Gerhart. In terms of picking up Toby Gerhart, a guy who got second place in the Heisman voting, and yeah, you pick him up in 2010 as a second round pick, man. All right, so 1,871 yards rushing, 28 touchdowns is just a beast. And I understand that you want to lighten the load of Adrian Peterson, but that was such a wasted pick. Hold on, Wiki 2010 NFL draft. Because you had Adrian Peterson. Maybe you picked up Toby Gerhart as sort of like contract leverage for Adrian because his rookie deal was getting close to expiring. But that was a rough draft overall, where you trade out of the first round. So 2009, you had the magical year, 30 overall. You traded back with Detroit to pick Javid Best. How'd that work out for them? Not great. I remember Dexter McCluster coming out of Ole Miss. Everyone thought that he was going to be the bee's knees. So the Vikings went Chris Cook. Yeah. Then Toby Gerhart. Wait, you traded up to get Toby Gerhart? That's even worse. So traded 62. Man. That's rough. Who else did the Vikings get this draft? All right, so I love just looking back. So it could have had Carlos Dunlap or Sean Lee would have been okay in the linebacking core. Golden Tate. Man, Montario Hardesty. Actually thought that he was going to be something. Not so much. That's rough. Oh, Manuel Sanders? Navarro Bowman? Coming out of linebacker, you Penn State? And you just decided to go with Toby Gerhart? For shame. For shame. Yeah. All right, so let's get back to here. We zoomed out for some reason. Man, we're just having technical difficulties all over the place today, aren't we? What can you do? Next up is HusGamer15. Who are the top 5 route runners currently and of all time? I actually wrote this down. And then I threw away the list. All right, so current top. Here's your top 5 route runners. So currently in the league, I'm going to say Thielen, Keenan Allen, extremely underrated, Diggs, Nuke Hopkins, and OBJ as the top 5 route runners. Of all time, the system wide receiver, Jerry Rice, yes. Larry Fitzgerald, Wes Welker, Randy Moss, and Chris Carter. Randy Moss, like he gets the reputation. All he did was run 9 routes. But Randy Moss was a super clean route runner. He was super flipping amazing. So there you go. Next up is Griffin Creer. What will Justin Jefferson's role and production be most likely? Well, ideally, I would like to see him work from the slot and then eventually branch out. I understand that he played outside in 2018. Marginal results. It's a completely different beast in the NFL playing on the outside, especially against press coverage. So eventually you would like to see him branch out more, but go with what the kid is good at right away. Just middle of the field, in breaking routes, short and intermediate, just showing him his numbers to Kirk Cousins and being an asset, moving the sticks, and then just go from there. Production-wise, let's see, we predicted like 55 catches, 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. If he gets that, I think that's a win. HusGamer, you already asked that one. Kyle Rippentrop. Any previous Vikings player come back in their prime to play this season? Who would you choose? Also, who listened to the news is underrated band? I got a new drug. In their prime to come back one season. John Randall. John Randall, that 3-tech spot. Like, I love Armon Watts. I think James Lynch can kick inside, but you got John Randall, man. Does Favre in his prime count? Or is it Favre 2009? Even that I would take. Maybe prime Tarkenton, sure. Prime Randy Moss, that would solve the deep threat problem. Yeah, it's certainly up there. Oh, prime Jared Allen, like Afadi Odenigbo, like it's your time, man. I love you, but imagine prime Jared with prime Danielle Hunter, just sexy time, just amazing. Andy's Evil Twin. Have you ever had ground beef ceviche? It tastes great and lots of protein. I've not done that. I do love like traditional ceviche. So like seafood, fish, whatever. Basically cooked in all that acidy goodness. It's great. I have done a lot of beef carpaccio, but I haven't gone full ground beef ceviche. Could give it a try. Like my problem is that it wouldn't necessarily have the texture. There's a certain texture with raw ground beef, which is not ideal. And I get raw seafood, raw fish, raw whatever. And then you add something fresh, something crunchy in there with ceviche. You can do that with the ground beef. But I don't know, man. Like people get freaked out about eating a raw beef, which I don't understand. It's not like it's raw chicken. Oh, by the way, pork loin, pork chops should be served medium rare, by the way, 145 degrees. Yeah. But yeah, raw beef. You get freaked out about eating raw beef, except you like a medium rare steak, right? Okay, sure. Nah, you're fine. Pulford skull. Oh, something I have done recently. So we take sirloin, some sort of cut of meat with low fat content, and just cut it really thin, and then cut noodles into it. So we make like carpaccio noodles. It's actually really good. A little bit of soy sauce or ponzu. Baby got stew going. Pulford skull. Here's an idea, and what's your thoughts, Andy? Taking the remaining roster spots. Jason Peters, yes. Everson Griffin, yes. Cam Newton, yes. Once the training camp opens, players will get cut. Let's go. If these were the 3 Vikings signees, I would be in. I would absolutely be in. Abza Abdi, pick at least 3 of the best Vikings players from 2009 to the 2019 seasons. Then pick a Super Bowl that was one of those players. It's too complicated. Sports Reactor 53. Big fan of your vids. You have always made me laugh whenever you post a video. Keep up the good work, Skull. Thank you. Eric Anderson, thank you for watching. Eric Anderson, if we miss the playoffs, what are the odds we go quarterback in round 1 next year? Celebrate my golden retriever Hendricks turned 2 today. Skull Pup, happy birthday, Skull Pup. Happy belated birthday, Skull Pup. If they miss the playoffs, so is it a completely bombed out shell of itself, 3-13, or is it 9-7, just miss the playoffs? Which, by the way, 7 teams make it in. So if you miss the playoffs now, I mean, that's on you. I would say, just in general, if they miss the playoffs, probably low, because I think they're going to try and ride it out with Kirk Cousins one more year. Now, day 2, so rounds 2, rounds 3, that could certainly open things up for debate. But if the Vikings go 3-13, maybe it's 60%. Seth V. Herman, the more I see of Cam Dantzler, the more I think that he could be the best cornerback on a roster. What made Gladney 2 rounds higher of a pick? Well, Gladney, I think just Gladney's feistiness, the way that he's a ball hawk as well. I think teams were a little bit more freaked out about Dantzler's combine, even though he was injured there. But, I mean, Gladney, despite the meniscus, I mean, you just love Gladney day one. Right, Gladney being a couple years older, that certainly helps his cause as well. But yeah, I do see your point about Dantzler, where you see how Dantzler performed big time games against Alabama, against Jamar Chase and LSU, working on the outside. He's not scared at all, and that's something that I love about him. And frankly, his lack of weight, lack of girth, as it were, I don't think that's actually going to work against him. Right, because he's a willing tackler. I mean, could it impact his durability long term? I don't know. But every time I see Cam Dantzler, I do see like the best parts of Antonio Cromartie, where he had this long, skinny cornerback who is just a great operator. Especially when he was operating opposite of Darrelle Revis. Carnivus Machismo III. The Last Dance Wales. I'm not even a basketball fan. Have you seen it? Yeah, I've seen episodes 1, 2, 3. I just put it on the DVR and then watch it as I go. Like, I don't like watching it real time. I will forever hold a grudge against Rick Spielman for cutting Kyle Sluter over Sean Mannion. Full agree. And then like the full-on tarnishing of him on the way out. Well, he's not a good practice player. That's why you put him in the game, man. Stanley Morris, Troy or Alexander movies. Troy for me. It's in my top 5. I'm kind of mild on both of them, even though they do check the boxes for movies I like. I love historical, like, period pieces. I love military movies. I love historical military movies. But I don't know. I like the Oliver Stone angle on Alexander, I guess, is interesting. I think they could have done a lot better. Like, frankly, like, the Alexander the Great story is so nuanced that you can't even jam it into a 3-hour movie like Oliver Stone tried to do. It does need to be a TV series or multiple movies. Like, Philip's mother is one of the most intriguing characters in antiquity, right? And as well as, I mean, she was like a witch queen. And then Philip II. I mean, without Alexander the Great, Philip II would have conquered Persia. He would have conquered all the way to India, right? So it was Philip who set everything up for Alexander, and you just forget about him. Except now you think that he's Val Kilmer, which he's not. No. But Troy, I think I saw Troy twice. Oh, sorry, man. The Brad Pitt was great. That's why no one will remember your name. It was good. But I guess go Troy, mainly because I have a lot of issues with Alexander. Skull Nation, what are predictions for Justin Jefferson stats in 2020? It changes every time I guess. 55 catches, 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. My prediction is 706 touchdowns. There you go. Tristan, are the Vikings never gonna be able to win a Super Bowl? I feel like we're cursed forever. They won't win one until they do. AJ Barnes would love to hear thoughts on the KJ Osborn pick. I'm still scratching my head on that one because of the players that were still available, especially at guard, as well as Amir Abdullah BB for return position. I think they draft him because of his return prowess, but I think that they could be surprised at what they get in him as a receiver as well. And we are going to do a video this week. It's on the list of things to do, looking at KJ Osborn, where his production at Buffalo was okay, working with Tyree Jackson, but you understand why he got the heck out of Dodge when Tyree left, declared for the draft, went undrafted, by the way. But yeah, even beyond like who was available at guard, but who they took, who was available at wide receiver, like our guy James Prochet, who ended up going to the Ravens, was available. Osborn. There you go. So you look who was available. Nathani Moody went. Bravion Roy. Although you already pretty much hammered the defensive line. I mean, John Runyon Jr. went to the Packers. Yeah, James Prochet went. Then with Josh Metellus. I mean, Prince Tagovailoa. I was shocked. Frankly, I was really, really shocked how far Prince Tagovailoa fell. And it may just be that he plays a little upright. He's super raw. But, man, I mean, I did not see him getting out round 4. Like, I wasn't as high on him as some places were. Like, I didn't see him possibly sneaking into the back end of the first round. I thought that was crazy pants. But you never know. Or like KJ Hill. I mean, KJ Hill, speed-wise aside, and yes, just adding another like 17th slot receiver. I mean, I'm shocked that he went that late. Yeah. And Kenny Willekes. I love Kenny Willekes. Yeah. Nick Doroff. One Vikings game you can watch over and over, and one you refuse to acknowledge happened. Watch over and over again. There's just something about that 09 playoffs against Dallas where it was like 31-3. It was just fun. Watching Keith Brookins be a little biatch. He complained about Favre running up the score. I mean, that one's good. Anytime you just beat the crap out of the Packers, that's always good too. Minneapolis Miracle, I guess, just because of the drama at the end, the back and forth. You know, like Kai Forbath hit. And let's bring that one up. All right. PFR, Vikings, Saints, 2018. Division round, there we go. I mean, because this game really went back and forth. And by the way, we keep pointing this out ad nauseum, but the Vikings did blow a 17-point halftime lead. Like, that should be talked about more. But, I mean, the fourth quarter, it was 17-14. 17-7 going into the fourth. And then touchdown, Kai Forbath drilling a 49-yarder, no big deal. Alvin Kamara catches a pass 3 minutes ago. The Saints retake the lead. Kai Forbath back again, drilling a 53-yarder. That was game. If Kai Forbath did not make that kick, that was game. And then the Saints come back and kick a field goal. And then, of course, we all know what happened. But I was... Let's see, Kamara... But yeah, I was pretty dejected. Also, I mean, this pass right here, the 4th and 10 to Willie Snead in front of Mac Alexander playing off coverage. I think that was the ball game too. 45 seconds to go. One timeout left by the Vikings. Two timeouts left by the Vikings. And yeah, I mean, that was the ball game. If the Saints don't pick up that first down on 4th and 10, that was it. That was ball game. There we go. Yeah, Minneapolis Miracle never gets old. I refuse to acknowledge 38-7. Abza Abdi, which sense would you hate to lose? Sense of wonder or sense of humor? Sense of wonder. I'm not funny to begin with. Jordan Thiessen, who do you think the biggest threat in our division is? Probably the Packers, but that's by default. I mean, the Bears roster is trash. The Lions are going to go 2-14. It's pretty easy. Kellen Smith. Oh, so we did the it was so funny. So we saw a comment on so we went through and predicted the wins and losses for the Packers. That's a win, dog. That's a loss. That's a loss. And we said that both the Lions and the Jaguars would go 1-15, except they would both beat the Packers as their only win of the season. But then someone in the comments was like, you dummy, the Jaguars and the Lions play each other too. Okay. Great point. Whatever. Kellen Smith, what Vikings player of all time would you want on the team right now in their prime? All right, I already talked about that. Favre, John Randall, Jared Allen, Steve Hutchinson, Randall McDaniel. Paz Mello, love Courtney Davis. What are the chances he sees the field? Probably pretty low, but I think his opportunity to make the 53-man roster is relatively high. Well, A, it's the 55-man roster, since you have 2 flex spots now with the practice squad. But I think with the expanded practice squad up to 12 now, I think Davis has a good chance of making that. And the wide receiver room behind Thielen and Jefferson and BC to a degree, it's pretty wide open. Brady Miller, thoughts on the movie Tombstone, my personal favorite. Tombstone is a great movie. Tombstone is phenomenal. I love the movie Tombstone. IMDb. It's a little long, but also it doesn't seem that long, where you're fully engaged in the story. Like, how, let's see, 2 hours and 10 minutes. So how movies are sometimes just gratuitously long, and it's like this scene could be cut, that scene could be cut. I mean, Tombstone, not so much. I mean, Val Kilmer's, as much as we bagged on Val Kilmer for his role in Alexander, like Val Kilmer, this is probably his best role. It really was, besides Batman Forever. Respect. This is just a great movie. Kurt Russell, Wyatt Earp, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, R.I.P. Powers Booth as the leader of the Cowboys. Man. Michael Biehn. Yeah. Johnny Ringo. I mean, there's just so many great lines from this movie, mainly coming from Doc Holliday. I forgot that Stephen Lang was one of the Clanton brothers. Thomas Hayden Church from Wings. And what's the movie with him and Paul Giamatti where they're in wine country? I'm not drinking Merlot. Yeah, he's in that one. It's just a great movie. Because this is a weird phenomenon in Hollywood. So movies are on the similar premise will come out all at the same time. There'll be 2 of them. So like Armageddon and Deep Impact came out at the same time. This one, so Wyatt Earp and Tombstone came out within months of each other. I didn't really care so much for this one. Like this one, 3 hours. This falls into that category of being long just for being long's sake. Like it was okay. Like Dennis Quaid was not as good of a Doc Holliday as Val Kilmer. It just wasn't good. Like Kevin Costner makes some great movies. This was not one of them. Bill Pullman was in both of them. I know. Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman. I get it. So they got the other Bill P. It's funny. Tom Sizemore's in this one. Yeah, get out of here. So what was the... All right, so this is a 6.7. Tombstone's got to be like a... Only 7.8? That's a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace. Yeah, I love the movie Tombstone. I'm going to watch Tombstone this afternoon. Shit. Brady Miller again. I think the Vikings are going to draft Trey Lance next year. Kid's an animal, a Minnesota native, and he's projected to be drafted right around the 20th pick. We have tons of draft capital, move up a couple spots. Thoughts? Well, here's the thing. Trey Lance already is getting some of that draft hype, and also it's not like he's going to be bad against FCS competition. So he's going to have another just amazingly studly year. So I think that he's going to go a lot higher than 20th. I think he could catapult the Vikings, but I mean, it's cool. The pride of Marshall, Minnesota, doing some great things. A modern day dual threat quarterback, taking care of the football, not throwing picks. Yeah, it's really fun. Let us know where you're watching from. Give a couple shout outs on the live stream. Thank you very much for coming on the secondary live stream as we got shut down the first one for copyright issues because we were showing the new uniforms, probably because the Rams probably were complaining that we were bitching about their new uniforms and they're terrible. Oh, we got removed. Oh no. As you may know, community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow your flag for review. Upon review, we determined that it violates our guidelines and removed it. Video content restrictions, blah, blah, blah. Has that resulted? That's funny. That's funny to me. Man. It's weird. It's weird the world that we live in, but it's all good. Next up is Chip Diamond. Who's the player you hate most in the NFL? I mean, if I said anyone else besides Rodgers, I wouldn't be true to myself. I would put Clay Matthews up there. Although if the Vikings did sign Clay Matthews, I would understand. But yeah. For me, it's Rodgers just because of the smugness, just because of the passive aggressiveness, just because of basically everything about him. See, who else do I hate? Joe Mixon. But yeah. Sam Morris. Any news on Anthony Harris? Nada as of this point. Also, rate Taco Bell out of 10. During the day, 3, 2 a.m., 12. I mean, everyone rags on Taco Bell, and understandable. Like they're a big chain, whatever. Pink meat, sure, liquefied meat, but 2 a.m. after you just gone out and won the day, a couple Crunchwrap Supremes. Ooh, the breakfast Crunchwrap Supremes. Shit. All right, a couple shout outs here. Patrick Phelan, Peoria, Arizona. Turtle553, Skull from Rochester, Med City, represent. Husgamer 15, Minneapolis, what's up? Paz Mello, Greensboro, North Carolina. Love Carolina. Carolina barbecue all the way, baby. Corey Chris, Floodwood, Minnesota, what's up? Jabrisky from Trempealeau, the only good part of Wisconsin because it borders Minnesota. Sean Caron, Crystal Falls, Michigan, what's up? Leighton Engen, Preston, Minnesota, Southeast Minnesota represent. Skull Vikes, Saskatchewan, that's right. Ben Cardinal, Red Lake Falls, Minnesota. Megas Talaverde, Ironwood, Michigan. Ryuto, Skull from Hopkins, that's right. Western Burbs representing. Skull Pezzolt, Flagstaff, what's up? Eric Swenson, Lancaster, Minnesota. Brax Goodwin, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Woo! Powerful Oklahoma. It sucks that we missed out on Travis Gibson because I really wanted him. Adam Anderson, Princeton, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. West Virginia, by the way, beautiful, beautiful country. It really is just really amazing. Up in them hills, beautiful country. Callum Spurlock, Fayetteville, Tennessee. God, I love Tennessee too. Preacher Paul, Metropolis, Kentucky. That actually is a town called Metropolis, Kentucky. It's near Paducah. It's kind of funny. I remember driving through Paducah, and I was up for like 24 hours. We were just on a road trip. I just remember having the best cup of coffee ever from this like mom and pop hole in the wall gas station. It was just really great. It was like fresh ground, and like it is like a gas station where it's like a mini mart, but also like their kitchen, and then just made a fresh ground cup of coffee. It was amazing. Let's see here. Leighton Engen, Skull from Preston, Minnesota. What's up? Richard Wilson, Webster City, Iowa. James Sommers, Hudson, Wisconsin, right across the border. It's where we go to buy spotted cow. Actually, I should do that today. Rayshawn Ivory, St. Paul, Minnesota. What up? Rohan Kumar, Skull from London, England. Oh, hello. Shut up, phone. There. Don't talk right now. Tyler Greeno, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Though I don't like North Carolina style barbecue. How dare you? How dare you? If you want candy, eat candy. But around here, if you actually do apply barbecue sauce, which I also do not recommend, it is simply vinegar and hot sauce. You get what you get, and you don't complain. That's here. Max Gallenberg, Waconia. Waconia is great, too. It's like Southwestern Metro. Got that big lake. It's beautiful. Let's see. Try the show. Graduate Champions Winona, Minnesota. That is right. As well as Purple Rain from Wausau. There you go. Guys, thank you very much for coming along live stream. Even though we are enemies of the state again, the original stream, if you just joined us, got removed for a copyright violation. I don't know. We're very careful about not playing music, not playing video on here. We remove content because we think it violates our community guidelines. Please note the Okay. It's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. Next up is Caden. Which players will be retiring on the Vikings soon, and how big of an impact will it have? Teams that need a logo change bad. Well, the Rams need a logo change for sure. Let's do logos first. NFL logos. All right, so let's see here. I mean, most of the NFL logos are pretty good, mainly because they're classic and we're used to them. Let's see what this. The new Rams logo sucks. They should go back to the old one. I guess the Jets, except what would you change it to? Yeah, you just get used to NFL logos, and then you just you're sort of turned off by everything else. The Broncos could go back to the old school, like Orange Crush D logo. I mean, that'd be great. Raiders logo is classic. Seahawks should go back to their old logo for sure. I like the Jaguars. I mean, I guess there isn't a logo that I'm just like champing at the bit needs to change, except for the new Rams logo. New Rams logo is just hot garbage. Let's bring that up. New Rams logo. There you go. As far as Vikings retiring, spot rack Vikings. I actually don't think any of them are excessively aged. Is Riley Reef the oldest guy on the roster at 31? Or same thing with Kirk Cousins? Does this show age? It does not. Over the cap, Vikings. I'm just trying to find a roster version where it shows age. Because, I mean, the Vikings have been pretty good about letting veterans as they've aged out go. I guess Cousins and Reef are the elder statesmen on this team. Thielen's up there too at 30, or going to be 30. Yeah, because otherwise it would have been Linval, it would have been Everson, it would have been Xavier is getting up there too. I guess Harrison's up there at 31. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any players that are in danger of retiring anytime soon, which is kind of great. Next up is Jenick McKay. Do you think Dalvin would take a discount considering the O-line has been more or less built around his skill set? Probably not. I think that plays into his advantage. Be like, hey, you got this great zone team. What are you going to do? I'm a great zone running back. What are you going to do? So I don't think that Dalvin should settle for a smaller contract. I don't think the Vikings should give him a big contract. It's one of those spots. Play out 2020. It will really help all sides involved get some clarification of what they should do. Zippity Zoom. September 10th, 2023. Chicago Vikings starting quarterback is Trey Lance. All right, so 2023. So that's the first season after the Cousins full extension. If he actually makes it that far, which I don't think he will. Trey Lance, Pride of Marshall, Minnesota. Let's go. Head coach. What defense was norm in the early 90s and 2000s? 4-3 flex. Tom Landry invented the 4-3 and then the 4-3 flex. You brought that up speed. Mainly a lot of 4-3s. There was some 3-4. Like you think of. All right, so who was with? All right, so Dick LeBeau was with Bill Cowher in Pittsburgh during all those years, and then they ran a 3-4 in Kansas City when Cowher was in KC. Ran a 4-3 when Tony Dungy was in KC, so it went back and forth. Parcells and Belichick were primarily 3-4 guys. So it was a lot of 4-3, but 3-4 was starting to really pick up in prominence as well. Daba. Was Joe Flacco ever an elite QB? No, he never was. Yeah, that's what him being the highest paid quarterback in NFL history for a hot second so funny is that he turned down all contract offers from the Ravens. He's like, no, I'm going to play the season out, my contract year. And he's like, hold my beer. Gets super hot in the playoffs, wins a Super Bowl. And then now the Ravens are like, what were we supposed to do? Right? Let a Super Bowl winning quarterback go? We already did that with Trent Dilfer back in 2000. Back in the day. So, I mean, Joe Flacco, who Joe Flacco was never as good as Kirk Cousins. I mean, we'll put that one out there. Joe Flacco's never made a Pro Bowl, which 17 different alternates make the Pro Bowl every single year. Joe Flacco was never among them. I mean, it's just crazy. But would I like him as a backup quarterback? Sure. Skull Vikes. Who do you think will be the first coach on the hot seat this season? Matt Patricia, although he may not be because I think that GM is on pretty shoddy footwork as well. Bob Quinn may not be long for this world. Current NFL head coaches. So maybe Zimmer absent an extension. All right, so who has had the longest tenure? Actually, let's sort this by wins. Hashtag coaching wins. All right, so Belichick's the elder statesman. Sean Payton, Harbaugh, Andy Reid. Oh, on current team career. Let's go current career. All right, so Belichick, Andy Reid, Pete Carroll, no. Tomlin, maybe, but I think he was given a full mulligan because of how last year played out. Harbaugh, no. McCarthy just got there. Gruden got that million-year extension. Rivera's new. BA now with Tampa. Bill O'Brien probably, except he is the de facto GM as well, so I don't necessarily see that. Dan Quinn, maybe. Like the Falcons and Dan Quinn made to a Super Bowl. Overall has a winning record. You know, he wins 54% of his games. But, I mean, Dan Quinn is basically the argument that we've used about Mike Zimmer, is that you get so good to a point, but have you plateaued? Can you get to that next level? I think they're starting to see that level with Dan Quinn. Like, if he's not able to push it past this season, it's going to be rough. See, Doug Marrone. I think they're fine with Doug Marrone since they're completely tanking. Gase is already on the hot seat with the Jets. I mean, he should be. Anthony Lynn, no. Shanahan, no. And the rest are new. I would say Patricia. Yeah, I'd say Patricia. Bill O'Brien should be, but he won't be. Maybe Tomlin. Yeah, but no one really comes to mind right away. Taylor Greeno, what videos about signing Cam and Flacco? I just have one question. Do you think adding a formerly elite quarterback to the roster would hurt or help Kirk? Well, I think Cam would hurt Kirk, hurt his feelings. I think it would help the roster. Flacco is perfectly fine, non-threatening. He's basically like adding Matt Schaub as a backup quarterback. Actually, I would take Schaub over Joe Flacco just because of the experience with Gary Kubiak. But it would be the right balance of non-threatening to Kirk and his weak ego, as well as he would be an upgrade over Sean Mannion. And yes, 97-year-old Matt Schaub would be an upgrade over Sean Mannion right now. Mr. Popo, what's the best sports fight in each sport to you? I'll give you Malice at the Palace for basketball. Yeah, Malice at the Palace for the NBA. Say Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan. That was a good one. Where Andre Johnson, cool customer. That just speaks to how annoying Cortland Finnegan was. That you got Andre Johnson, who never raised his voice, was never an emotional dude, just freaked out one day and just started swinging on Cortland Sutton. It's funny, or not Cortland Sutton, Cortland Finnegan. Hockey, well, every hockey game. Yeah, there you go. Brian Yaz, what's your favorite music video of all time? Mine's Remember the Time by the King of Pop. One of my earliest memories was staying up in the basement watching the video on repeat with my VHS. Favorite music video. Man, do they still make music videos? I suppose they would. Let's see. List of best music videos of all time. I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to remember Total Request Live. What was going on there? Oh, hold on. Bum song. Tom Green. I remember this was on Total Request Live, the Bum song, the Swedish. Because how long was this on TRL? And then Tom Green went on and he retired it, mainly because I think they were just sick of having it on TRL all the time. Let's see, TRL. How many weeks is this on TRL? Sasha, it was retired the day. How many days on TRL? Oh, they retired after 5 days? They're probably just pissed off. And why do we keep zooming out? I don't know. Why do I keep hitting? It doesn't matter. All right. See here. Chip Diamond. If you could pick one player out of the NFC North, out of one NFC North team to be on the Vikings, who would you pick? Not Khalil Mack. David Bakhtiari. David Bakhtiari, one time. Just come on in. Chugging beer and everything. God, I love him. David Bakhtiari is a bad man. He's really, really good. Bailey Paulecki. Why not? Stanley Morris, I applaud you post-draft. I feel like in your position, all the questions for the most part getting really applaud you, so thank you, Skull. Thank you for coming along. Bailey Pollock, do you think the Vikings should consider a quarterback in the first round next year? Yes, but I think they should draft one every year, at least high. Would you rather be Mafia or in the Justice League? Justice League. Mafia, you're just going to get whacked one day. Justice League is forever. Dalton Gray. If Kirk was to be abducted by aliens, what's a record with Mannion? 4-12. Maybe. Corn, do you ever play video games like Madden, Grand Theft Auto, etc.? Played a lot of Madden back in the day. Some Grand Theft Auto back in the day as well. Mainly it was more Call of Duty, especially the Modern Warfare ones. Kind of got out of gaming. Being a parent sort of precludes that. You don't have a lot of free time. Lucas Johns. Who are your top 5 running backs currently? Dalvin, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Alvin Kamara, even though it hurts to say, Nick Chubb. There you go. Stanley Morris. Do you think the Vikes are ever going to fill the last 3 roster spots or just leave them open in case of alien abduction, save cap room, emergency signings? I think they would have if they had normal OTAs and actually could evaluate players. But, I mean, if you have a truncated training camp and, say, like 20 of the dudes have 0 chance of making the 53, like, what's the point? Don't get to evaluate them. May as well keep them open. Fricks John 36. Chances of Trey Lance or Tanner Morgan to the Vikes. I think Tanner Morgan's a better chance. I think Trey Lance... Trey Lance is never going to be challenged in FCS. Like, you may as well pencil in NDSU to the national title game already against James Madison. So, yeah, Trey Lance is just going to look like a stud yet again. Human highlight reel for another season if he comes out. I think he'll be a top quarterback. I mean, it's like what happened with Carson Wentz. He had that one amazing year against FCS competition. Everyone thought he was going to be the bee's knees. And he was like, whatever. Tanner Morgan, man, he has a shot to be really good. Morgan, he does lose Tyler Johnson, but it has Rashad Bateman. I think Bateman actually has a chance to be better than TJ. But yeah, Tanner Morgan, another year with the Gophers. Do the damn thing. Let's go. Next up is, I think I get my garbage there or no? Next up is Kaiser Helm 14. What will happen to Afadi if Griffin returns? I think Afadi still starts. I think Griffin takes on a rotational role. Aaron Rodgers, BFF and lover. Rumors has it that MLB might play an 82-game season if Phil Hughes allows it to be so. What's the minimal games the NFL can continue with an 8 to 10 game season? Probably 8 to 10. Probably 10. Actually, probably 12. Just drop all the out-of-conference games and go with that. Cam Nor. It's Trey Lance Day. North Dakota State quarterback, Marshall, Minnesota. Many have him as their quarterback in the first round. Yeah or no? Yes. I think he actually may go above Justin Fields. Jerome 15. I know you don't watch too much basketball, but who do you think the Timberwolves should draft if they have a top 3 pick? I have no idea who's in the draft this year. I just have zero clue. Ethan Griffith. Actually, let's look. Let's see. 2020 NBA mock draft. Wait, is there a mock draft simulator? Oh, I'm going to do it. Wait, no. Oh, wait, so right now, the Warriors are in line for the number 1 overall pick. I mean, that's just gross. All right, so, yeah, leave it to the Warriors to actually figure out how tanking works. All right, so they have the Wolves going LaMelo Ball, which, I'm sort of over the Ball family. I do not recognize any of these names. Like, usually it's March Madness where you get acquainted with the names they're giving me in the draft. Didn't have that this year, so not so much. If the Eagles took Jefferson 21, what do you think Pretty Ricky would have done at 22? I think we would have took Jalen Rieger, 1,000%. Gage Sandin, do you watch Charlie Barons? I do not know who that is, so we shall Google him. Comedian, Man Talk Minute, Charlie Barons. Oh, is he a Packer fan? No, I do not. Award-winning journalist. That's cool. Shoot. Wait, does he have more YouTube subscribers than me? He probably does. 188,000. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts, mama. It's all right. It just means that we can grow that far. We actually would be funny. I'm sure he's funny. Us, not so much. So maybe we just stay in our unfunny lane. Brady Miller. Even if the Kirk Cousins kicks ass this year, and even wins the Super Bowl, I still think we should draft a quarterback. Too much talent. Agreed. Hanlu West. How important is that Christmas Day game versus Saints? I think that the season may come down to that. Saints should be in the thick of the playoff chase. I think the Vikings, seeding-wise, that's going to be really, really important. Caden, also you should do power rankings. We will introduce power rankings because it's so easy to do. T-Rag, only one team has ever won the Super Bowl where the quarterback is making more than 15% of the cap. What do you think about that? And does this mean that you have to find a team-friendly guy or rookie contract stud to win it? The good starting quarterback on his rookie deal is the greatest competitive advantage in modern day sports. So you saw Pat Mahomes, you saw the team that the Chiefs were able to keep around him last year. Great. When the Seahawks won their Super Bowl, Russ was in his rookie deal as well. So it is big. It does make a lot of sense. Like if you had a guy in his rookie deal, as opposed to paying top dollar for a starting quarterback, so you have an extra $25 million in cap space to spend on offense, on defense, on special teams. It's like that's all three phases. Yeah, that is an advantage. I don't know if I make much about the 15% thing. I mean, if Brady was making market, I mean, that stat would be out the window. I think it reflects badly on Drew Brees. I think it reflects badly on Aaron Rodgers. Because before, when they won their Super Bowls in 2006 and 2008 respectively, they weren't making top of the market money. So, yeah, I think there is some credence to that. But, Brady completely throws it out of whack. Sean Karan, do you think the NFL not playing with fans will get rid of home field advantage? Yes. Crowd knows game changer. Yes, absolutely it is, because the Vikings have some of the best fans in the league. Sean Karan, any reason why Josh Jones followed the way of the third round? What would have been the benefits of taking him over Cleveland? I don't know. I'm glad that they went with Cleveland over Josh Jones, although I think Josh Jones is going to have great potential in Arizona. I'm not quite sure why he fell. It may just be a scheme fit thing. It may be an age thing. It may be this or that, or teams were just interested in other positions. Yeah. Jack Aberg, I think Joe Burrow will be good in the NFL. I think he has a chance to be really good. I love his attitude, but I am worried that last year was a bit of a bubble where everything just came together perfect. Joe Brady, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jamar Chase, JJ, Jefferson, Thad Moss. I mean, there was a lot around him. Pulford Skull, I'm all in for Flacco. Said it before. You can drink margaritas on the bench, fan Cousins with a palm leaf, and push him to be better. You want a Super Bowl? If Kirk's abducted, I'd much rather have him Manny. Full agree. Stanley Moros. Did you ever see Will Ferrell's movie Kicking and Screaming? Mike Ditka's role in that was great. Technically a children's movie. Adult jokes make great. I think I saw it once. I do remember that Ditka was good. What is the movie? Is it Failure to Launch, where Terry Bradshaw's like Matthew McConaughey's dad? He was actually good in that too. Yeah. Hunter Williams. School from Coon Rapids. Rate Mickey D's out of 10. It's a lot like Taco Bell. So during the day, 3, 2 a.m., 12. Although McDonald's breakfast slaps hard any time of day. Like the breakfast burritos, shoot. Come on, son. I mean, yeah, should be corn, but DG, Tupac and Biggie's murders, street politics or Illuminati assassinations, both. Paz Mello. Also, I haven't watched what was it, FX that did something about TV, Biggie and Tupac. Unsolved. So TV show about Biggie and Tupac. I have not watched it. Apparently it's rated pretty good on IMDb, 7.9. Josh Duhamel. The most famous Vikings fan in the history of the world, Josh Duhamel. He's in this as a detective. Yeah, maybe we'll watch it. Where I do like... I like crime dramas based off a true story. Like I adored American Crime Story, the one about O.J. Simpson. Oh, Crime Impeach, because they're doing a season 3 of that. Season 2 was about Giovanni Versace and Andrew Cunanan. The third season is about Bill Clinton and the Lewinsky scandal. Monica Lewinsky is actually an executive producer on the show, but they got Clive Owen playing Bill Clinton. I see it. I feel your pain. Here. Jonah Hill's sister is Monica Lewinsky. That sort of makes sense. See what else here. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be good. How come the trailer isn't out yet? I mean, everything is filmed. Just release it. Just release it. Just release it. So here. We got a couple more questions, and then we'll bounce out of here for the day. So here. Pez Mello. Is Cook the only top running back right now not drafted in the first round? I guess Joe Mixon, second round pick. Was Nick Chubb a first round pick? Okay, Nick Chubb. I don't think he was. Yeah, second round pick, Nick Chubb. Yeah, top of the second round. Christian McCaffrey was a top 10 pick. Saquon was like a top 5 pick. So, yeah. Zeke. I didn't list Zeke as the top 5 running backs. I stand by that. Thielen is obviously wide receiver 1, Jefferson 2, but where do you think Tajay and Courtney Davis end up? What about BC, man? I think BC has the inside track to be wide receiver 2 to start. Will he hang on to that job? That's up to him. I think Jefferson, just by virtue of being a first-round pick, works in as wide receiver 3. Tajay and Courtney Davis all have a similar chance. Same thing with, they really like Alexander Hollins. They love our guy, Davion Davis. Our guy that I can't remember his name off the top of my head. KJ Osborn, I think will be in line for a return specialist and make the roster. BB, I don't know. If BB can stay healthy, maybe, except that's a big maybe. Micah Miller, do you think we'll have football season? Yes. Also, how many sacks do you think Anthony Barr will have this season? 7. Fair. All right, that is all. As all, thank you very much for coming along on the live stream when we're not shutting down the world, apparently, per YouTube. But again, if you want to support the channel, hit that join box down below. Love our gaggle of a couple hundred of daily viewers. You guys are the best. And if you catch us on demand, you're a rock star too. Have yourself a great day. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Skull, production value.